What if I told you that trying too hard to be happy is the very reason you're miserable? What if I told you that caring about everything is exactly what makes life unbearable? In this video, we're breaking down Chapter 1 of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** by Mark Manson. You'll learn why success often comes from failure, how the feedback loop from hell traps us, and why the secret to a better life is not about caring less, but about caring more selectively. Stick around. This one might just flip the way you think about life. Mark opens the chapter with the story of Charles Bukowski, a writer who for most of his life was labeled a failure. He drank heavily, he gambled, he lived in cheap apartments, and he was rejected by publishers again and again. For decades, no one believed in his work, and he himself barely believed in it either. And yet, when he finally got published, the world took notice. On his gravestone, there are only two words that became legendary: "Don't try." Those words are not just an inscription, they are a message. And Mark uses this story to set the tone for the entire book. But what does "don't try" actually mean? Most people assume it means laziness, or not putting in effort, but that's not the point at all. What Bukowski was really saying is, stop pretending. Stop putting on a mask to impress others. Stop trying to live up to some fake standard of perfection that was never yours to begin with. His life was messy, chaotic, and far from admirable, but at least he owned it. Don't try is about honesty. Honesty with yourself about who you really are. Bukowski was not a role model in the traditional sense. He wasn't disciplined, he wasn't polished, and he certainly wasn't positive. He didn't wake up every morning to a perfect routine or a motivational playlist. He succeeded not because he transformed himself into an ideal version of success, but because he leaned into who he already was. He accepted his flaws, his weaknesses, and his failures. And he kept writing anyway. That raw honesty made his work real, and people eventually connected with it. Manson highlights something we see everywhere today: the obsession with constant positivity. The idea that you should always be happier, richer, healthier, smarter, better. Social media tells you to upgrade every single part of your life. 24/7 self-improvement. Never satisfied. But this obsession is toxic. It creates a pressure that no human can handle. It convinces you that you're never enough. And ironically, the more you chase positivity, the more negativity you create in your own head. The gap between where you are and where you think you should be only grows bigger. This is the paradox at the heart of Chapter 1. The harder you try to be something you're not, the worse you feel. The more you chase happiness, the further away it gets. Real change doesn't come from chasing an image or pretending you're fine. It starts when you admit where you are, flaws and all. It starts when you stop lying to yourself about the person you wish you were and begin living as the person you actually are. That's the lesson behind "Don't Try." Honesty over perfection. Authenticity over fake positivity. Next, Mark describes something he calls the feedback loop from hell. It goes like this: you feel bad, then you feel bad about feeling bad. You get anxious, then you get anxious about being anxious. You're angry, then you're angry about being angry. Sound familiar? That's the loop. It's a spiral where negative emotions multiply because we resist them. But here's the truth. Negative emotions are normal. They're signals, not enemies. The problem isn't that you feel sad or insecure. The problem is when you judge yourself for it. The way out isn't to eliminate pain, but to accept it. Stop fighting emotions, and they lose power over you. As Mark says, the desire for a positive experience is itself a negative experience. And the acceptance of a negative experience is, paradoxically, a positive experience. So instead of asking, "How can I stop feeling this way?" ask, "Can I accept that it's okay to feel this way sometimes?" That shift breaks the loop. Finally, Mark introduces the core idea of his book, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. This doesn't mean living carelessly. It doesn't mean apathy. It doesn't mean becoming cold or numb to life. What it really means is choosing your fucks wisely, deciding on purpose where your limited care and attention will go. Because our energy is finite, our time is limited, our attention is a currency, and every day we spend it, often without noticing. We only have a limited number of things we can truly care about in life. If you waste them on everything, other people's opinions, social media drama, status games, you'll be drained and miserable. You'll say yes to things that don't matter and have nothing left for the few things that actually do. And the cost isn't just fatigue. The cost is a life that feels scattered, noisy, and strangely empty. So what do you do instead? You prioritize. The secret is focus. Choose what matters most and stop wasting energy on the rest. Care deeply, but selectively. Let some notifications go unanswered. Let some expectations remain unmet. Let some people be disappointed. When you choose your problems consciously, you choose your life consciously. Mark puts it bluntly, life is short, so stop trying to avoid problems. You can't remove struggle from life. You can only choose better struggles. Trade the fake struggles. Looking perfect, pleasing everyone, chasing validation for real struggles that move you forward. Building a skill, supporting your family, finishing the project you believe in. Ask yourself, what am I willing to be uncomfortable for? That question reveals your values. If you're willing to be bored, tired, or criticized for something, that something probably matters. If you're not willing to suffer for it, it's probably not worth giving a fuck about. Here's a simple way to apply it. Pick 3 priorities for this season of your life. No more. Define the acceptable costs for each: time, effort, money, and the discomfort you'll tolerate. Then say no, clearly and consistently, to everything that doesn't serve those priorities. Your no protects your yes. And remember, choosing what to care about also means choosing what not to care about. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to defend yourself to every stranger on the internet. You don't need to meet standards you never agreed to. When you focus your care, something shifts. You stop scattering your attention across 1,000 trivial battles, and you start showing up fully for the few fights that matter. You feel lighter, clearer, and more grounded. Not because life got easier, but because your aim got sharper. So the message is simple. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Don't try to collect every win or silence every critic. Choose your problems. Choose your values. Choose your life. Happiness doesn't come from having no struggles. It comes from having struggles that matter, and choosing them on purpose. So what's the point of Chapter 1? Don't waste your life chasing fake positivity. Stop running in circles inside the feedback loop from hell. And most importantly, learn the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Focus only on what truly matters. This was just the beginning of Mark Manson's book. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how values shape our choices and why most people get them wrong. If you found this summary helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss Chapter 2. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing in your life you've decided is not worth giving a fuck about anymore? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.